Good morning and welcome my fire friends to another Fire with Fun stream. I'm your host the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you are at. So, of course we're going to be doing our continual deep dive into the Final Fantasy set because there's so many cards we have to cover, and I feel like I'll just not have enough time to do all of this. We're going to try, of course, to do it over the next several weeks, and I realized that someone also mentioned, oh boy, in about 3 weeks now, we're going to start getting previews. Actually, I think they're going to do a sneak preview this weekend for Edge of Eternities. Good lord, we're just moving way too fast on previews and content. It's like preview season never ends. But rather than rant about that right now, we're of course going to try to have some fun today in the Brawl format with a deck that actually is actually pretty hilarious when it does go off. What deck exactly am I talking about, however? Well, there's only one way to find out. So let's go ahead, let's jump into it right now and show you what exactly we're covering for today. All right, here we go. Where are we at? Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we are. Awesome. Oh, there we go. Good morning, Sneaky Toilet and Den Splendid. You have arrived. Thanks again for joining us today, this morning, my fire friends. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And I do see a couple of all of you, of course, coming on in from other locations on Instagram and everything like that. I see on there, what is it? There, Eric117 over on Instagram there. Good morning as well. Holocrab Star also on Instagram there, and if I don't see you on, if I don't see your name pop up from other platforms, I do apologize for that. I can only have so many screens trying to capture everybody that's also joining in today. But either way, here's what we're going to be doing today. Of course, I've been having a lot of fun with this cute little Chocobo deck because honestly, it actually is a lot of fun when it goes off. So Bant Birds is mostly what we're going to be talking about today, a deck that I'm simply calling Bird Up. If you understand that reference, congratulations. You have the same kind of humor I do. Any case, so Bird Up today is going to be a Bant Bird deck. We're going to try to get as many of our flying and also non-flying friends to go off and just go wide and just smash our way to victory. How are we going to do that? Well, before I actually cover that, real quick, as always, if you do like any of the content we do, any of the budget stuff that we talk about, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are watching the content, so that way you can make sure you never miss out on any of the live streams, booster pack openings, deck techs, and so much more. And then with that, for those of you that are still trying to give me additional support beyond that, as always, there's going to be, of course, the Patreon. There's going to be, of course, the Discord. You can join up however you want. Again, anything that you want to do, you can do at your own leisure. No need to, of course, spend any money on me, but your support just being here and watching me is all I appreciate. So, rather than shilling on about myself, let's talk about how this content is going to work for today. So, excuse me. The way it's going to work, of course, is first off, we'll cover as much as we can with the stats of the deck. We'll then go over every single card in the deck, and then we'll play as many matches as possible in Brawl today to see how well the deck does. About halfway through the stream, of course, we'll then try to upgrade the deck to see how well we can really do with this deck if we want to take this deck to the next level and invest a ton of extra rares and mythics. For those of you that are interested in how this works in paper, I believe the deck currently runs at just under $100, unless if the Final Fantasy cards keep spiking, because that's been a bit of a thing. Speaking of which, I have yet to still wait for my actual physical booster packs to come in the mail, so don't worry. Hopefully, again, we'll try to crack some Final Fantasy packs as soon as possible. I'm really excited to do that, but man, it's just going to take a while to get product. But otherwise, the way it's going to otherwise work from there is we'll then just have a little fun. We'll talk about, of course, how the deck does, good, bad, whatever, and we'll kind of just give a quick little evaluation for those of you that do stick around to the very end of the stream. As always, you kind of get a little sneak peek as to what's to come down the line. But otherwise, for now, let's talk about the stats of the deck, because longtime viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So our Bird Up deck today is, as I mentioned earlier, it's Bant colors. So it's going to be white, blue, and green. Average mana curve is only about 2.5, and we'll be rocking 27 creatures in the deck. 25 of those are birds themselves. We'll utilize 14 instants, 12 sorceries, 3 artifacts, 10 enchantments, 1 battle, and 34 lands. Although 34 lands, again, is a little skewed because, again, we do have a lot of modal lands to kind of make up for it. So I believe technically it can be up to about, what, 40, 41 lands? I think that's correct. Any case, let's go ahead. Let's talk about how this deck is going to work. So Choco Seeker of Paradise is going to be our commander for today. So it's going to be a Bant bird here, 3/5 legendary creature. When it says, whenever one or more birds we control attack, look at that many cards from the top of our library. You may then put one of them into your hand and put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped and the rest into your graveyard. It also has the landfall ability. So that means whenever a land we control enters, Choco will get +1/+0 until end of turn. Oh man, this is a really awesome big bird here that's going to help us just get super big and ramp us very quickly with our game plan here. But in order to do that, we want to make sure we have as many birds as possible in this deck. Whether they're flying or not, we just want a lot of birds. So that's how we're going to be doing it today. Battlefield Raptor is starting it off in the 1-drop slot here. Flying and first strike, nothing fancy about that. We just want to get in some damage that's also evasive. Fragmentize here is going to be artifact and enchantment here for stuff that's mana value 4 or less. Healer's Hawk here, another cute little simple stable here. Flying and lifelink just helps us stabilize. It's in the air, it's great. Requisition rate for additional artifact and enchantment hate. And also we got +1/+1 counters on each of our creatures we control, depending on how much we want to spend on the spree cost. Restoration Magic, a brand new card from the Final Fantasy set. With the tiered system, you can pick one of these. So either Cure, which gives a permanent hexproof and indestructible. Cura can give same thing, hexproof and indestructible, and we gain 3 life. Or Curaga here is going to be 4 mana to give our entire set, our entire battlefield, permanents we control, hexproof and indestructible, and we gain 6 lives. So this is going to be great for stabilization against most of the stuff out there. And I would say, like, 5 mana is not too bad, considering you get life gain and you get to protect your whole board. Harrier Strix here, bird, when it enters, tap down a permanent, and then for 3 mana, draw a card, discard card for some looting, so great kind of filters through our deck. Birds of Paradise here, the OG mono green bird here, and it's great for our deck here. So again, just taps it for any color to help us fix. Its spiritual successor, I guess you could say, is going to be Gilded Goose here. Simple little green bird here, 0/2 flying. When it enters, create a food token. Then you can sacrifice the food token later on to add 1 mana of any color, or you can just use it to then just create more food tokens as the game progresses. Go forth here, we can help us at instant speed dig out a basic land, put it into our hand, or target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Saz's Chocobo here. Oh, I just love this Chocobo so much. He's so cute. Oh, look at that cute little Chocobo. Oh, I just wish I had a little plush of him. It's so adorable. Really, really do. I do like plushes, by the way. They are adorable. In any case, this cute little bird here, it doesn't have flying, but it has landfall. So whenever a land we control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. Judge's Familiar here, another classic bird from back in the day here. Sacrifice the creature and then counter target spell that's instant or sorcery unless of a controller, pays 1. Also has flying for evasion. Mockingbird here is great for us to then copy any one of our birds that we want to then get some more action out of it. So Mockingbird enters. It's the bird bard, 1/1 flyer. When it enters, you can have it as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with a mana value of equal or less than the amount spent to cast this creature, except it's also a bird. I mean, everything's already a bird as is, so that's also just a nice bonus. In the 2-drop slot here, Ambrosia's Wildheart here. It's a flash bird here that has 2/2. When it enters, you bounce back a permanent we control to our hand, and it has landfall. Whenever a land enters, give it +1/+0 until end of turn. Then split it real quick. Trying to craft a new era Dimir control deck on a budget. Ashiok and thinking of something else for the WinCon for Pioneer. Oh, okay. You're still trying to refine that Dimir Ashiok build, huh? I mean, you got tons of options. Have you ever done Dimir, I don't know, Dimir rooms with Ashiok? Maybe like as kind of like a budget builder? I mean, that might work. Let me know if you tried that, by the way. Any case, okay, sorry. Continuing on for the rest of the deck tech here. Builder's Talent. So this enters, we get to create a 0/4 white wall creature token with Defender. Whenever a non-creature non-land permanent enters, if it's level 2, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature we control. And then at level 5, we can bring back a target non-creature non-land permanent from a graveyard to the battlefield. In other words, this could just help us again get some extra support once we start putting out there our artifacts and enchantments. Case of the Gateway Express here, great because we are using a lot of creatures in the deck. When it enters, just ping out a creature and deals 1 damage for every creature we have on the battlefield. If we swing with at least 3 creatures, we can solve the case, which gives all of our creatures +1/+0 for the remainder of the game, or at least until it leaves the battlefield. Invasion of Goblikon here, another great card here. It's a battle. When it enters, look at target opponent's hand. You can then exile a non-land card from it, and then as long as that card remains exiled, our opponent has to pay 2 more to cast the card. This can temporarily lock out sometimes things that we just don't want to deal with or have a hard time dealing with until we can make it Light Shield Array. So this is great for us. If we flip it into Light Shield Array at the beginning of our end step, you get a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn, and then sacrifice the enchantment to give again your entire team hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So great for us for a little bit of protection. Life Create Duo here. Every time a creature we control enters, gain 1 life. Simple, effective, and it works for our strategy. Ossification for a little bit of spot removal here. Put it onto one of our basics that we control. A creature or planeswalker we have, a creature or planeswalker an opponent has will get exiled at least until the ossification leaves the battlefield. Rally of Wings here. This is actually one of our best pump spells here, but it also is a little clunky to use because Chocobos actually do not fly. So be aware of that when you use this card. But Rally of Wings still is pretty good for our deck. So with Rally of Wings here, you untap all creatures you control, give all creatures we control with flying +2/+2 until end of turn. At the very least, you can untap all of your creatures even if they don't have flying. So this can still be a decent card to kind of help us protect ourselves on the backswing. Razorgrass Ambush here. It's either a land or it can be again a spot removal in a pinch. We have Sentry's Shelter here. Same thing, could be protection for one of our creatures, or again, tap land in a pinch. Sheltered by Ghost here. I know everyone's probably sick of this card, but it actually is great for our deck, so we have to throw it in there. Gives one of our creatures, of course, Ward 2, Lifelink, and an extra +1/+0 pump, and of course, it'll exile a non-land permanent and opponent controls until the aura leaves the battlefield. Dazzling Denial here, one of our key counter spells for the deck because we control a lot of birds. So this means we can then pretty much make this a pretty solid counter spell, all things considered. Ledger Shredder here, a classic card for us, and thankfully the price on this card has gone down a ton since it first came out, because this card originally was like $30, but it's actually now affordable for us. So now that the cost is down, we can definitely throw it into our deck. It has flying, it's a 1/3 bird advisor. Anytime a player casts a second spell, we get to connive. In other words, you draw a card and discard a card. Discard a card that's a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on the Ledger Shredder. Lofty Denial here, we have again a ton of flyers, so this means this is a great counterspell for our deck here, forcing our opponent to pay 4 as long as we control a creature with flying. Strix's Lookout here, simple little bird here, has flying, it has vigilance. Also, you can tap it down and then draw a card to discard a card for 2 mana. Newfound Adventures, aka Farseek, has now finally entered into Arena. So this is actually a really solid card for us. It's a sorcery that allows us to look for either a plains, island, swamp, or mountain and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Notice that again, it doesn't mean a basic, so that's actually solid for our deck. We have Geshel Greens here, sorcery, the speed card that allows us to create a bird token here, and then of course we can flash it back for 7 mana, and of course it has the landfall ability on it as well. So anytime a land enters, give that token +1/+0 until end of turn. Rampant Growth here, again, for another way we can just keep ramping our game plan out. Roaring Earth here, we have landfall on it. Anytime a land enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control, or you can channel it away to make a spirit creature token with haste. Sylvan Scrying here, again, another 2 land fixer for us to help us just dig out what we need to. Watcher of the Spheres. Anytime creatures we control with flying are cast, they are costing 1 less to cast, and whenever a creature we control enters with flying, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Again, Chocobos don't fly, but again, it's still pretty solid for our deck, and it still helps us cheapen the cost of some cards. We'll have Growth Spiral here, same thing, quick instant speed where we can just draw a card and then put another land from our hand onto the battlefield. Planar Genesis here, it's Simic as well, dig 4 cards deep, put a land card from our among them onto the battlefield tapped, and if we don't, we put the card into our hand, put the rest into the bottom of our library in any order just to help dig out. Arcane Signet here, we are a 3-color deck, so again, we want to fix ourselves as best as possible, so it's a great mana rock. Abzan Falconer here, one of our few non-birds in the deck, but it works perfectly with our deck. It has the Outlast ability, and of course this means that each creature we control with +1/+1 counter on it has flying, so this is how we can get all of our Chocobo to fly, as long as we can put some counters on them. Strike Force here, flying, double strike, vigilance. That's pretty awesome. Once it gets pumped up, it's actually a really solid bird here. We also have the new enchantment creature type here, Summon Choco/Mog. It's a Saga Bird Moogle. That's actually a pretty cool typing. It has the Stampede abilities. That means other creatures we control get +1/+0 until end of turn, and this is a 4-chapter saga, so this is great for us for a constant aggro damage against our opponent. Aven Interrupter here, 3 mana of Bird Rogue, flash flying. When it enters, exile a spell that's on the stack, and then that becomes plotted. This basically can help us lock out a lot of instant speed spells that kind of mess with our opponent here. Because again, the spell the opponent has to cast from being plotted now has to cost 2 more to cast, so it's actually really great for us. Finch Formation here, well, it also has the Offspring mechanic. It's a 3 mana 2/2, and it has flying. And then when this creature enters, target creature we control gains flying until end of turn. So this, again, another way we can give one of our Chocobos the ability to fly. Raven Form here, just exile the creature or an artifact, and if we control that creature, if our opponent controls the creature, it'll be a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying. You could foretell it for 1 if you need to, so this is great for us to just get rid of certain creatures or artifacts we don't want to deal with. Salinity Visions here is our tap land here, or again, you could dig 6 cards deep to get an instant or sorcery card from out of them. Refute here is one of our, again, slower counter spells here, but it's actually good for us. And also, realistically, I just picked it because it has bird art on it, so I thought, you know what? Why not? Sacred the Stupor here. Again, it's another great tempo play for us. We can bounce back a spell or an non-land permanent and opponent controls to their hand, or it can also be a land for us. Balaged Recovery, staple because we are rocking green. We can bring back any card from our graveyard to our hand. It can also be a tap land if we need it to be. Bridgework Battle here, either it is a land or target creature we control get +2/+2 until end of turn at sorcery speed, and then use the fight mechanic to get rid of something. Retreat to Kazandu here, 3 mana enchantment, has landfall. Whenever a land we control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control, or we can also gain some life. Roiling Regrowth here. I'm sorry, I'm running out of steam here, but I'm gonna get through this real quick, everybody. Roiling Regrowth here, instant speed to sacrifice a land, dig out 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle, so help us with ramping. Along with Scale the Heights here, but this is against sorcery speed, but we can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control, gain 2 life, draw a card, and play an additional land, all for 3 mana. Spelunking here, we are a budget deck, so why not? We might as well throw it in there while we can. It enters, draw a card, put an extra land from our hand onto the battlefield. If it's a cave, we gain 4 life, but we don't have caves, but still nice as an option here. And of course, lands we control enter, untapped. Traveling Chocobo here, the strongest card in the entire deck here. So Traveling Chocobo is actually real, like the real deal. $30 for this card right now. Absolutely expensive. But seriously, for this bird here, it's a 3/2 mythic, and it says, we can look at the top card of our library at any time. We can play lands and cast bird spells from the top of our library. And if a land or a bird entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent we control to trigger, basically you get to trigger it an additional time. So in other words, it's kind of like Panaharmonicon, but for birds. So Bird Harmonicon, it's actually really awesome for our deck. Infurian Eagle here, it's another one of our slow but effective lords. Creatures we control with flying get +1/+1. Plume Creed Mentor here, 3 mana, 2/3 Bird Scout, flying. When it says, when this creature or another creature we control with flying enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control without flying. So this, of course, supports our Chocobos. Patchwork Banner here, one of the best mana rocks for our deck because we literally just pick birds and then gives all of our birds +1/+1, and of course tap it for any mana we need to. In the 4-drop slot here, we'll have Salvation Swan, Bird Cleric here, flash and flying. When this creature or another bird we control enters, you can then exile a target creature we control without flying, and then bring it back to the battlefield with a flying counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. It's actually really great for us to then bounce back all of our Chocobos and then give them all flying. So really awesome card for us. Excuse me. Battle Screecher, 4 mana for this card, sorcery speed. We could create 2 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying and then flash it back to tap 3 untapped white creatures we control. Great for us, of course, to just fill out our birds. Saz Katsroy here is one of our other non-bird spells, but again, it's great for us because it helps us with the bird game plan. This is a human pilot here, and it says when it enters, you get to dig out either a bird or a basic land card, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Whenever Saz attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and then double the number of +1/+1 counters on the creature. So great for us. Then, of course, as you know, of course, it goes perfectly well with his own little Chocobo here. So cute. Any case, in the 5-drop slot here, we have Landerall, Horizon Witness here, 5 mana, 3/4 Bird Noble. It has flying, and it says whenever 2 or more creatures we control attack a player, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. So again, yet another way we can pump up our Chocobos and also give them the ability to fly. Scour the Desert here, 5 mana sorcery. It says exile target creature card from your graveyard, then create an X amount of 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of the exiled card's toughness. So this can be great for us to then go wide if we need to pump out our team. This town ain't big enough here. I know some people get absolutely tilted from this card, but it's actually really effective for our deck here. So the spell costs 3 less to cast, and we can target a permanent we control, and then we can bounce back up the 2 non-land permanents to our hands, both myself and in our opponents. We also have here in the 5-drop slot, Fat Chocobo here. This is hilarious, though. I can't believe they actually made this card, but it's still funny, though. So Fat Chocobo, here's a Saga Bird, 4/4. It has work. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Work. Is that how you do it? I don't know. I haven't played Final Fantasy, so I don't know if that's how it sounds. But anyway, for the first chapter, we create a 2/2 bird creature token with the landfall ability, just like all the other Chocobo do. And then Kerplunk for 3 more chapters allows us a creature we control to gain trample until end of turn. So then it can be super, super big and then easily push through damage. Bartz and Boko here, another one of our great cards here. It's actually technically spot removal for the deck, but also has affinity for birds. So this will get cheaper as we have more birds on the battlefield. It's a human bird, 4/3, and it says when it enters, each other bird we control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Solid for us to then just get rid of select cards that we have a hard time dealing with. Chocobo Racetrack here kind of rounds out the package here with Landfall, and it says it's an artifact that's 5 mana. Whenever a land we control enters, create a 2/2 green bird creature token, and it has the Landfall ability just like all of our other Chocobos. Finally, in the 6-drop slot here, Gallo here, the Windlord. Did I say that correctly? I have no idea. I'll worry about that later. It's a legendary Bird Noble 4/4 that says this spell costs 2 less to cast as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. It has flying, it has vigilance, and gives all of our birds vigilance. So this is actually great for us to make sure we can just keep swinging all willy-nilly and make sure we don't have to worry about the backswing, if you will. Now, to round out this whole game plan here, this is going to be War Rocking for the mana base here. It is budget, but don't worry, we'll talk about a non-budget version halfway through the stream. So we have 7 plains, 5 islands, 7 forests, and we have all the tap lands we should be able to then cram into here. So again, it's cards like Idyllic Beachfront here, the life gain lands like Tranquil Cove, and of course we will also utilize some of the Actually, it's pretty much all the game lands. So again, we're just keeping it as simple as possible. We'll then, of course, throw in some fetch lands for us, but it's going to be all the cheap ones. So Tranquil Landscape here, solid for us. Arid Archway to bounce back something we can reuse. Broker's Hideout here is perfect for our deck for fetching. Command Tower's a staple. Demolition Field for non-basic land card hate. Evolving Wilds, again, another great budget option for us. Secluded Courtyard, we can name all birds to fix our mana. Same with Unclaimed Territory. And to round it out, a Terramorphic Expanse, which is exactly the same as an Evolving Wilds. Okay. Whew. As always, I appreciate everybody sticking in there for that. Do apologize that it takes so long. But again, we have to talk about every single card in the deck. So thankfully now we finally got through that. Let's get to, of course, the fun part here. Let's play with some birds. We'll talk about the upgraded version a little bit later on. But don't worry, it is coming later on. Whew, okay. Sorry, let me catch up also with the chat now that I finally got that going here. So with that, Dense Planet, 4 rares on a pain land. Others are basic lands. Final Fantasy art is great, by the way. Yes, I do agree, though. It's actually really solid. Let's see, and Sneaky Toilets. You ever thought of a Saga deck with the new creatures and Saga enchantments? I mean, at some point also, I know you're talking to Dense Planet here, but we definitely need to do a Saga deck again as soon as we can. We'll try to see if we can also do that ourselves at some point. Sneaky Toilet, too low IQ to think of one up? Oh, don't say that about yourself, man. Hey, if my derpy self can some way, somehow just cobble together random decks almost every other day, I'm sure you definitely can do it too. Trust me, again, my brain sometimes gets fried every time I'm trying to come up with a new deck. But here we are, some way, somehow. I managed to come up with one like 3 times a week. It's actually pretty wild when you think about it. Now that I actually think about that more, I'm like, am I actually crazy for that? Like, literally 3 times every week. 2 to stream, 1 to make into a YouTube video, like almost like clockwork. I mean, I know I'm not the most consistent content creator out there, but seriously, I never realized how many decks I actually go through every single week trying to make videos here on YouTube. So, yeah, maybe I am crazy like that. Who knows? Any case, enough of me trying to rationalize my own insanity. Let's go ahead, let's play. All right, so there we go. Top land first. Our opponent is playing Vinix Verbose Host. Okay, so from Ether Drift, that means they're going to be trying to draw a lot of cards, but we'll see if we can get around that. Let's go ahead, let's just get our ramp going. We get another forest, but we'll also play the Arcane Signet. Wait, come on. There we go, okay. I don't know why it took so long to tap that. Okay, opponent, show me what you got. Bring it on.
It's time to do.
Okay, they're not wasting any time. They want to start their engines now. Okay. Well, that's great, though. We actually did manage to get actually what we wanted. So let's go ahead. Let's play name bird, of course. Choco. All right. Now we're all set. Okay, opponent, what you got? Azure Beastbinder. All right. Okay. So let's see here. We got a plane. That's good. Get the landfall thing going. Let's see here. Let's actually... how do we do this here? Is there anything we want to deal with now? You know what? Let's do Bartz and Boko now. Let's get rid of their commander. Gone. All right. Nice. Now we should be able to swing no problem. And let's get the ramp going. Okay, so we'll put that into our hand. So we didn't get a landfall trigger, but that's perfectly fine. Get some damage in. First blood, by the way. Saw as a Chocobo. I just love this card, by the way. It's so cute. Do they have like a plush for him? I would love to get one. Okay, opponent is not playing around. They definitely want to keep that on the field. All right. So they weakened that for a moment. We can't block just yet, but that's okay. Okay, so their engines are now at max speed, but we're going to try to see what we can do to get around this. So let's see. How do we do this here? I think Traveling Chocobo. Oh, nice. Okay, so we can just play that off the top now. All right, get a bird. There we go. And then with that, let's Growth Spiral. Get another land. Oh, this is going off. All right, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Nice. Okay, now we can actually do a big swing here. Let's actually, let's see. Well, we don't want our Choco to die, so we're just going to swing with our 2 big birds here. Okay, opponents. Okay, blocking. Down to 17. Okay. Well, our birds are managing to do their thing. Our opponent is definitely going to try to keep turned off Choco here, but we will do what we can to just at least go with the landfall package, because we can totally do that. Oh, our opponent then taps down Traveling Chocobo. All right, that's fine. Ominous Seize. All right. Opponent, they swing. Okay. Saz Katsuroi is here. That's also cute. Okay, so how do we do this here? Scale the heights. We will put it on Bart's and Bogo. Draw a card. Let's see here. Get the trigger to go off. Now we go. That Chocobo is actually doing a lot of work, by the way. Get another land. Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay, so with that, let's see. I guess, Saz. Dig out another bird. Okay, so what do we do here? Let's see. Sneaky Toilet, Infernoman. I might have missed it. Do you have a Cavern of Souls land? You can use that to make birds uncounterable. Well, you're small spoiler on that one. I mean, obviously the card is too expensive for the budget deck, but stick around, of course. We'll definitely throw that into the non-budget version, but we'll talk about that, of course, once we get to the next part. But it is coming. It is coming. All right, so what do we want, by the way? I think maybe we'll get Mockingbird. Nothing super crazy, but... Okay, so here we go. Play one. We'll pick our cute little Chocobo there, and it's also flying. That's great. So let's see here. I guess we'll swing another 2 birds here. Who would have thought that this little Chocobo was going to be the one to actually go off and do massive damage? Because it is definitely working here. Dead Splendid. Oh, they printed Urza for Brawl. Oh, dear. Oh, good lord. At some point, we might have to actually talk about that. Azure Beastbinder. Okay, so they turned off Traveling Chocobo this time. So they do not want that to go off. But, I mean, joke's on them. That means now Choco here can definitely go wild. Do we dare do a big swing here? Oh, Fragmentize. Okay. Well, that's not too shabby either. So, here's how we do this. Let us sink in the Stupor. Bounce away the Eye Kite. Alright, here we go. And then, let's see, Sylvan Scrying. We'll get any land we want. So this is actually what we want to do here. We want to get double triggers. So in order to do that, we will get out Broker's Hideout. Oh, man, this is so sweet, by the way. Alright, here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're going off. Very, very nice. And then we will get another land. Wow, this is actually pretty sweet here. Our Chocobo are going off. Okay, so let's see. I mean, we don't even need to blow up that. So here's how we do this. You know what? We're gonna just. Actually, no. You know what? Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. We came here to swing big with a bunch of birds. All right, and then with that, we'll pump everything up. Okay, and then with that, we will put in... Oh, opponent! Oh, I want to go off there! Opponent was like, I'm not dealing with these birds. So, there we go, everybody. Bird up! Yeah, all right. Nice! First victory of the day, everybody. There you go. Birds, Chocobos, they are doing their job. They make it work. All right. Feel good about that one. We got our first victory there. All right, all right. So, you can see right there that birds... Now that we actually got a really solid commander for birds, actually does really great. The only awkward part, again, is because Chocobos don't fly, you kind of have to play around with it a little bit more. I'm sure if you were to take this into real paper commander, you have a lot more options to give your birds flying support. If you can do that, the deck actually would be even more powerful than it currently is. But actually, I would say this actually feels really good, considering that, I mean, this is as budget as we can get. I checked right now. I think the deck, because some of the cards did spike a little bit more from the Final Fantasy set, are currently... This deck is now currently sitting at, I think, about $101. And it's only because the Traveling Chocobo just keeps getting more expensive. It's a great card, but it's also going to get really pricey. And then, if you take that card out, the deck is actually only like $65. So, FYI. But also, if you're playing on Arena, the deck is only, what, 11 rares? I mean, that's pretty good for a Brawl deck. I think that's really good. Okay. Any case, yes, bird up. Oh, man, I should have gotten the Aragonja clip. Note to self, put that in for the replay once we get the highlight reel up later on. Okay, we'll name birds, of course. Okay, so what is this opponent playing? They're playing Kotus the Banekeeper here. We did play this card a while ago, and it's actually a lot of fun, but now I'm starting to get kind of annoyed with this card. It's going to try to steal a bunch of stuff from us, but we will find a way to get around that. We do have at least have some ways of kind of bouncing some stuff. So we'll see if we can get around that. Let's play Arcane Signet. Alright, getting a ramp going. Okay, if we can, maybe plan our Genesis will get us out what we need, and then we can then start doing our thing. Ooh, okay, Arcane Signet. Alright, opponent. Game on. But let's see if you can deal with this, by the way. Sorry, opponent. We're going to slow you down. Too bad. Okay, slow him down as much as we can. Okay, they surveil. Mirror shield. Ooh. Alright, so they're trying to protect themselves as much as possible here, but we have ways of getting around that, so that's not the worst. We'll have to wait a little bit longer, though, because now our hand is a little on the clunky side. Man, if we just can get either a blue or green source, we'd be good. Oh, sorry, opponents. Even if we don't have what we need, we still have just enough to counterspell this. Phew. Okay. Denied. Okay, so that buys us time at least. Harrier Strix. Okay, not quite what I wanted, but okay, I guess I'll take it. Okay, I guess we'll just tap down their Mirror Shield, not a big deal. And then we will pass there. Okay, opponents. What else you got? Wooded Foothills. They sacking that. Okay. Getting that done. Done, Splendid. 14 rare wildcards left. Might invest more into blue-black lands. Any suggestions? Well, I mean, okay. Are we talking for the Pioneer formats? Or are we talking about other formats? Okay. Otherwise, while you're taking the time to answer that, let's see. Let me just attack real quick. I have a feeling our opponent does have a way of dealing with Choco themselves. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to see if I can do a little bit more ramping. I figured it was Pioneer. I mean, what? You already have the Shock lands, the Surveil lands, and I'm guessing the Pain lands? I suppose also you can get the Fast lands too, if you wanted. Okay, plan our Genesis. We're going to dig 4 cards deep. Let's get us a land. We need a land. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's see. We'll get out. Let's get an island. Put it onto the field tapped. Okay, so we got a little bit of ramp going. That's good. Geshel Greens. So let's do it this way. Chocobo Racetrack. We can start going wide with a bunch of tokens. Once we can start getting some more landfall. Triggers going. All right, nice. You already got the Pain lands. That's good. We're just going to swing with our little Strix. Down to 21. Opponent is taking their time to put down Kotus, and I'm guessing they're going to try to wait until they have enough to... Oh, no. Opponent, that's boring. All right, looks like our opponent here is not playing around, but we do have ways of getting around even Ugin if we have to, so it's doable. Okay, so with that, we will Ossification. We ain't dealing with Ugin today. Sorry, opponent. Denied. All right, so with that, let us play. It's got another bird. Swing with our other little bird. All right. Shock lands, fast lands, and I would say, depending on your style, Surveil lands. Opponents. They're assembling their team right now. So they're digging through their whole deck. I mean, this card is absolutely broken for Brawl. The top third of your library rounded up, so that means you're digging 33 cards deep to get a card you need. I mean, again, come on, Arena. Come on, Magic. This is not fair for... Again, and it's uncommon. So if it was a rare, I probably wouldn't care that much, but that's just stupid. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. Okay, got a Plains. Okay, so with that, let's see here. We don't have protection for Choco, because I realize now there was one card technically we missed, which was some kind of protection for him. But we'll just go with it. All right. We'll Sylvan Scrying. So with that, let's go ahead. Let's pull out, let's see here. What do we want to get to get our triggers going here? Or maybe I guess we'll play Arid Archway. We can always just play that again. No big deal. Okay, so we'll put Saz into our hand. That's cool. At the very least, we get a nice little card draw engine. So we got that going for us. Playing Dimir Control. Yeah, Surveil lands definitely would be solid for you. I would definitely say that. All right, opponents. Looking at Choco. Choco's going to die. Not a surprise there, of course. But we were already prepared for that. But yes, so for a control deck, you can get away with Scry lands, Surveil lands. The tap lands would still be fine for you. But I would have had to pick, definitely get the Surveil lands first. Don't invest in the Scry lands. If you get them for free, that's fine. But do not actually crack rares for that. Surveil lands, definitely for sure the key tap land you want to have. Okay. Okay, continuing on here. Choco here goes back to our hand. Yay. But that's okay. We still have plenty of lands to work with here, so that's fine. Okay, opponents. As long as they don't have also a way of getting rid of ossification, I think we should be fine for now. Let's play Saz. Saz Katzroy. We'll be able to now dig out a bird. Let's see. What bird do we want, though? What bird do we want? Definitely have a lot of birds we can play with here. Let's see. What would help us out right now? Maybe Ledger Shredder. I think that might be the best one. Ledger Shredder. Because he will eventually get big and help us start drawing a bunch of cards. Here, Archway. Okay, come on. There we go. We'll bounce away a forest. Okay, that's fine. Do a little bit of extra damage. Little by little, our Strix that could is trying to just ping our opponent here. Our opponent, of course, is definitely trying to slow us down as much as possible. They don't want to play... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say they don't want to play Kotis just yet, but now they do. Do they have protection? Yep, they got the Mirror Shield. That's fine. We can still deal with that. Okay. We now have, finally, this going off, so... There we go. Opponent is doing everything they can, however, to make sure that they do not have us get rid of Kotis here, so... We will do it this way. Okay, so Sheltered by Ghosts, because I'm sorry, opponent. We cannot allow you, seriously, to do your thing. So, say goodbye to the Mirror Shield. And with that, we can also play a Forest. We can then play Bartz and Boko. Do Arc and Knife, and then we will throw away... Well, we can't really... We have to throw away something, so I guess it'll be the Shelter. Pump it up. Denied. So we do the damage. Of course, because it's indestructible, he doesn't actually die. But we can still push through damage just the same. Alright. And then put some counters on him. Nice. Okay. That's a flying 8-9. Down to 14. Alright, here we go. Up to 37. So we're sponging hits pretty well here. At this point now, we can keep Bartz and Boko kind of like on the backswing here to protect ourselves. So at least we could try to avoid getting our stuff stolen for a smidge. Okay, opponent is digging out their basic lands. I would definitely say... Oh, they Dense Planet. Definitely get this... Yes, Surveil lands. Get a full set of the Surveil lands, Shock lands, and also... What else would I think here? I'm trying to think for a second here. So, Shock lands, Surveil lands, and... I guess it depends on how you build your deck. You can either get away with the slow lands that they have from Crimson Vow slash... what was it? Midnight Hunt? Or you can do the fast lands from Thunder Junction. Either the fast lands or the slow lands. Your choice. It really depends on, again, what you're trying to curve out into. If you're slower, you can get away with more tap lands that won't untap unless you have like 3 or 4 lands out. But again, it's your choice. Okay, let's see here. We'll throw away... Yep. Opponent does blow away our whole board, by the way. But at least that means still the ossification locks down Ugin. If that Ugin is out, we would be dead. Okay, Kotis is going to get stuff stolen here. No one likes their stuff stolen, by the way, but here we are. All right, in the meantime, let's see here. Choco coming back. We will play Tranquil Landscape. Get the pump, but it doesn't really do much for us. Play Traveling Chocobo. We're going to try to see if we can get ourselves back into this fight. Once I don't have anything that gives a death touch, I think we can then sponge a hit or two for now. Phyrexian Scripture, okay. Alright, so that means Kotis becomes an artifact. Okay, 3-2. We can still sponge the hit. Virtual Persistence. Ugh. Okay, we gotta find a way to get around that. We'll try to find a way. Dense Planet, Frill Fast Lands, Control Dimir. Playing Dimir Control, 26 lands enough? I mean, that's definitely a lot of lands. You probably can get by with that, so you should be okay. But yeah, so if I were, now this reminds me, I gotta make at some point. I gotta really finish that that video, by the way. Which lands to craft in what order? I mean, we technically did one, like that was like one of my first videos I did, like, good lord, 4.5 years ago. But I gotta update that deck so badly because we have so many new lands. But seriously though, and this goes for anybody out there. When in doubt, shock lands first, and then depending on what your deck is doing, if you want something faster, fast lands are fine. You can do the slow lands or surveil lands if your deck is more focused on mid-range or control. But that's just, again, the bare basics for, like, you know, what to craft. All right, in the meantime, let's see here. Side quest, raise a Chocobo. Make another bird. Let's see here. We can play Case of the Gateway Express. Can't really do much to actually stop this, but it does work. Let's see. I guess we can't really swing if you... Well, we can swing with one card. Okay. I guess we'll take the Rally of Wings. Okay, opponent's gonna block, yep. Alright, in the meantime, summon Chocomog. So we don't get the pump this turn, but that's okay. We can still hold ourselves on the backswing. Opponent is gonna then do their scripture thing. Unfortunately, this does mean our entire board will get blown up, but that's okay. We'll still find a way to try to get around that. I mean, man, they really built their deck in such a good way. All right. Okay, bring back Ledger Shredder, but it does get blown up anyway, so... There we go. Okay. Still trying. Still trying to get around their stuff here. Okay, Chimley. I hate this card so much. Ugh. Jeez. It's just free value that's just... Oh, okay. They got Spark Double. All right. Well, now we're not looking too good here. They're now going to just start trying to do the stealing of stuff, and I'm just not having it. Absolutely terrible. All right. Well, there goes all of our stuff. Zubiro has subscribed over on YouTube there. Thanks again for the subscription, my fire friend, and thanks again for joining us here. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. You're about to see me completely get wrecked here by a deck that's trying to steal everything. Yeah, I know one of our viewers right now loves to steal stuff, but I am just not a fan of these kinds of strategies. Even if we did play this deck ourselves a couple weeks ago, by the way. But still, yep. All right, stealing more stuff. If we cannot survive the next turn or two, we probably are just going to scoop. Even if we do have a life gain advantage here, it's just not helpful for us. Because it's going to be very hard for us to stop two cards that are indestructible and have hexproof. We don't have in the main deck, or at least we don't have in this version of the deck, any kinds of spot removal that stops this. We already used it, I realized, for Ugin. So, okay. Opponent has now found a way to outdo us. And they are stealing... Oh, they stole our little bird. Sadness. Okay, Abzan Falconeer. Won't really help us now. Okay, and then just going to keep bringing stuff back. So at this point, they're pretty much going to be value for days. Bringing stuff back for free, discovering stuff for 5. I'll give it one more turn. I don't think we have any way of getting back at this, just because we don't have the value in this version of the deck. It's okay, though. Okay, well, they took our best bird, so they exile our graveyard. We don't really care too much about our graveyard getting exiled, but it does hurt us a little bit. Sword of Body and Mind. Okay. So at that point, that means they have protect... Oh, never mind. Okay, at this point, it's game. I'm just going to concede there because there's no way we're going to survive that. It's fine, though, everybody. It's fine. We win some, we lose some. It's okay. We'll just jump into the next one. Okay, Dense Planet here is also still trying to figure out his best strategy for crafting lands. Finally getting some lands to play with here, but yes. Well, also, I would also mention that your I'm assuming, of course, you already have the shock lands. But again, the shock lands, bare minimum, at least are usable across all formats. So if nothing else, that'll be your best bet. Since you are playing, I know, mostly slower Dimir decks, Surveil lands for you for second. If you want something a little faster, fast lands would probably be your next best option. But again, it really depends on, again, what you are also planning for the long game. Because I know you'd like to do a lot of these mid-range control decks. But also you want to look towards, again, like if you wanted to pivot to something else, are the lands you're going to have also going to be usable for other decks in the future? So also think a little further ahead on that one. Just, again, some FYI for you. In the meantime, let's see here. All right, so we can play a couple cards here. We just can't play our green cards. But these are 4 and 5 drops, so maybe we can then draw into them. Hopefully. Okay, Blood Crypt tapped. Oh, okay, great. We actually did get a green source here. So with that, play Tranquil Cove. Gain a life. All right, opponents. You're playing with Terra here. We haven't actually seen this. It's actually pretty sweet. I do like the card, by the way. Let's see. Do you guys want me to actually build the Final Fantasy cards around the commander decks? Let me know. We might be able to try to pull off something with that in the future. All right, opponents. We will play this tapped. So what we need to get rid of the Elias Ill core to make sure they don't start doing life gain and drain shenanigans on us. We'll see if we can get around that. Okay. Terra's coming down now. All right. Life gain and drain us. They're going to start the milling process. They gain flying too. Down to 24. Okay, so with that, let's see here. Well, not playing this for any real value, but, I mean, it kind of helps us a little bit, sort of. We'll decline. Okay, opponents. Charismatic Vista. Relic of Legends, okay. Pretty solid if you're playing a lot of legendaries. And our opponent is definitely going to start getting the ramp going. Okay. I do love the art on this card, by the way. It's actually really, really nice art. Okay, Terra does her thing where she's going to go flying. She's swinging. Down to 21. She triggers. Does she pay the 2? She does. So here comes the reanimation. Okay. Alright. Reanimation shenanigans are ahoy. It's okay, everybody. We'll try with what we have. Thornwood Falls. Tap land doesn't really help us too much there, but at the very least we can just blow up the Relic of Legends. So fragmentize that. Slows them down a little bit, but not enough for us. Zubiro also now joining into the chat. Haven't touched Arena in years. Big commander player. Thinking about trying Brawl. Okay. Well, I would love to see you try that out. What made you want to come back and try it out now? Was it the new set of cards, or is it just because you've been a player for a little while but then decided to take a break? All right, Terra right now is doing Terra things. Again, I'd like the card, but it's gonna be something that's gonna give us some problems here. Still, we'll try. Saz, Catsroy, let's dig out. We need basics. That's what we need right now. I would love us to get some more. Let's see. We could probably get a white source. We do have a lot of white cards in hand. Okay, so is there a way out of this? Can we survive? So if you are a big commander player, Zubiro, do you have how many commander decks do you have? Do you have paper decks, or are you more of a digital player? Like, do you play on online, or if you have like a giant paper collection? All right, so they're playing Bruce Tarl here, morphed as Hugo let's see, Kupka. Words are hard, by the way. All right. We actually, I realize now, this is also the first time we actually have Bruce Tarl now officially in Arena, so that's actually kind of cool, too. This set has definitely given us quite a few cards to work with here. Okay, I mean, even if we block here, we can't really. I mean, we technically can block, but, oh, jeez. This is really awkward for us, but we're going to try. Kind of a shame Ornithopter of Paradise couldn't be a Thopter bird. That would have been solid for our deck. Our opponent here has got us down to 5. All right. Well, I don't think we're going to win this one either. We'll give us at least one more chance to do another deck in budget, and then we'll see if we can try to get around things. All right. Sheltered by Ghosts. We can get rid of Terra. She is down, but she will come back. And then, let's see, Finch formation. Coming in. Give our creature flying. Not for any real value, by the way. It's just, again, just to help us survive. So, put some counters on Finch formation. So, Sass is not bad for pumping, but our opponent was too far ahead now. Dang. Kind of a shame, by the way. Zubiro Paper, just playing with a small group of friends. Okay, well, that's cool. Are you playing with any of the new cards from Final Fantasy sets? Do you guys have your own kind of fun house rules? It's been a while since I've actually played in paper. I mean, I have so many decks behind me on my shelf right now, and I've been trying to at least keep them up to date, but they've been collecting a little dust. Hopefully sometime I can find time to play myself with a group again. Dan Splendid, update on my Dimir Pioneer deck. Lands consist of Surveil lands, Fast lands, Shock lands, and Pain lands, and the rest of are basics with a total of 24 lands. Okay. Well, sounds like you more or less have exactly what you need, so that's pretty nice. Okay, I'll just let our opponent just hit us here because we're not living through this one. It's okay, everybody. We did lose this one, but again, let's give our deck one more shot in budget, and then we'll upgrade the deck in a bit, and we'll explain how the upgrades work. Dang. Okay, well, looks like Arena wants to match us up with more of the serious players out there, but that's okay. We still got one win today. And again, the point, of course, is always to have fun. If we can't have fun playing it, then there's no point in playing. Never forget that, everybody. Always remember that, again, as long as you're having fun, no matter how janky or how sweaty your deck is, that's the whole point of it. Just want to have fun. Subiru, don't get too many opponents to play. Would be nice to at least get some practice on digital. Okay. Well, I mean, I know Arena doesn't have full commander. They have 1v1, but there is a rumor still going around that we might possibly get commander in the future. If we do, that actually would make Arena a lot more of a attractive way to build. And also, I would have to then reevaluate all of my Brawl decks to make them more viable for a real commander game. Something to think about in the future. I would hope that they do it in the future. So that way, players like you can have an opportunity to play a little more on the updated side. Having said that, of course, Arena is not the most optimized. But maybe they might fix that in the future. Okay, opponents. We will sack our landscape. Okay, so we're going to be a little bit on the slow side here. But that's okay. Our opponent is playing Psy, so they're going to be doing a lot of artifact and Thopter shenanigans. So this will be interesting to see where it goes. Okay. Okay, here comes Psy. We can deal with him, so that's not the problem. We just want to make sure we get our lands going here, and we'll play Ledger Shredder. So at least we now have an engine ready to go. Judge's Familiar. What do we throw away for now? I think we'll throw away... Yeah, throw away Fat Chocobo for now. Okay, opponents. Can you make enough Thopters to stop our flying birds? We will see here. Swiftfoot Boots. A little annoying, but we can get around that. Dan Splendid also got some spare rares to get my 3 steps ahead as well. Nice! 3 steps ahead is actually a really solid card. Alright, Empyrean Eagle. Okay, so here's how we do this here. We will play the Eagle. Terramorphic Expanse. Sack it. So hopefully next turn we should have Choco ready to go on the field. We just need, maybe get an island. Okay. Swing here. Start getting that aggro damage in. First blood. Down to 20 opponents. What you got? Patchwork Banner. Oh. I'm guessing they're going to name Thopter? Yes? I would assume so. Yep. Thopter. Okay. Thankfully, though, we still get to keep doing Ledger Shredder shenanigans, by the way. So this is actually nice for us. We'll throw away the Roiling Regrowth. I think we're good with our lands now. As our opponent's just going to slowly try to keep going off. Play Tranquil Cove. And we will Choco. So while Choco can't swing just yet because it's not even a flying bird, we at least have now everything we need. Cloud Key. Okay. Opponent's going to keep making Thopters here. I will say, though, Psy is actually a pretty solid option if you like to play mono blue artifacts and you want to play on a budget. Oh, okay. So, let's see. What do we get rid of here? Okay. Plume Creed Mentor. Okay, Kappa Cannoneer. Doing its thing. It's a pretty tough little turtle there, but we can still get around it. Okay, in the meantime, let's play Gilded Goose. Honk honk! Radiant Grove. Pump Air. That's a Ward 4, which is really, really awkward for us, but I think we can still get around it. Salvation Swan. Ugh, I don't want to get rid of that, but we might have to. Case of the Gateway Express takes out at least one Thopter token. Unfortunately, we can't get rid of the Cannoneer for now. So let's see. Still can't attack just yet. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer here. We're going to see who can blow up who first. Ooh, Mystic Forge. Okay. Well, do we want that to go? I think we'll have to play Dazzling Denial for that. Cannot have our opponent get too much value. Do you have an answer, though, opponent? They don't. Okay. Nice. So we'll at least keep that off the field for now. Okay. Shadow Spear. They're going to swing with the Kappa Cannoneer. All right. Not a problem. Get down to 19. Okay. Rampant growth. Okay. So we could still keep doing our ramp stuff if nothing else. Chocobo race Choco. Oh, sorry. It's Choco race. Wait, no, it's Chocobo race. I'm getting so confused with these cards because again, Choco here is the name of the commander, but Chocobo is also the name of the birds themselves. I'm trying to get myself mixed up there. At least not too much. All right, Ledger Shredder doing its thing. Oh, we throw away a land there. That's okay. We can still get another land here anyway, so it's not a big deal. Let us get out... I guess we'll get out a forest. Start making the burbs. Lots of burbs. Okay, so... I think at this point... Dang, I really want to go off with birds here, but I can't. I don't want to start sacking a ton of them with Thopters. So we're going to have to wait maybe 1 or 2 more turns so we could just get a little bit more power. More Power Stone. Okay. If our opponent keeps trying to go off here, though, that does mean that Ledger Shredder will eventually get big enough. We should be able to get around them. At least I hope so. Down to 10. Well, we are running out of time, though. Our opponent is getting a little too big for our comfort here. Oh, Requisition. Oh, that would have been nice. All right. Saz. Or is it Saws? I don't know. It's one of those. Okay, so we will dig out a bird. Well, what can we cast? Okay, we can't cast it. Get Bart's and Boko. And then from here, Knife again. Chocobo gone. Okay, Tajim is the only thing we can hit. Really hard, by the way. And, all right, well, we don't really have much time here, so we're going to try to go for a big swing, even though I don't have any hope of this, but we're going to try. Let us get out Ossification. And then 2 lands. Mill a ton, but there we go. We got a bunch of big pump here. Make a bunch of birds. Okay. It's going to be blocking a lot of the birds now. Okay. That's 2. That's 3. They still have 3 more Thopters in the air. Technically, they don't have to block with all the Thopters. They could just let us take some damage on them, and then they would probably just die. Down to 33. Put that back in the command zone. We pump up all of our stuff. Now they're 3/2s, but Kappa Cannoneer. All right. So with that, that means Kappa Cannoneer gets ahead of us, and we lose again. Dang. All right. Well, I mean, not much else we can do. Kappa Cannoneer just got through, everybody. Dang, that's a shame. Nothing we can do about that one. Very strong card, though. Still, it's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine. We're just going to let it go. Okay. But I think at this point, now you guys kind of get the gist of what the budget version is doing. It can do some fun stuff, but it also depends on what your opponent's throwing at you. So, you know what? What if we take the time to upgrade this deck? So let's go ahead. Let's show you what we can do if we want to take this deck to the next level. So let's talk about the bird upgrades. So with that, so this version here, realistically, the main deck for our bird deck is not going to be a much more... Not too much is going to change here, but we do have some key upgrades for us. So nothing really would change here in the 1-drop slot here. We have, again, our 2 best birds that are 1-drops here, Gilded Goose and Bird Paradise for rares. Otherwise, nothing else in the 1-drop. We will see if we could try to do a little bit of tweaking in the 2-drop slot here. I think I might move some stuff around here. Builder's Talent, I think we probably could cut that and maybe put in a little bit of protection. So, hold on. I actually do want to do a minor quick little update that I realized, like, wait, we didn't add it into here. So we'll put in, well, also, we also could put in the Zephyr boots to get flying, but Swiftfoot boots alone probably would be good for us. All right, so we'll change that, and we'll make sure that, again, if you guys are interested, we'll mention the upgrades later on in a link, so you can check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, aside from that quick little Swiftfoot boots add-on, 2-drop slot doesn't look like it really changes all that much. I'm trying to remember what I actually put in here because sometimes I forget stuff. But otherwise, for the 3-drop side here, we do have a couple of things. So we added an Aven Mind Sensor here. So flash flying, if an opponent is trying to search for something, we can force them to only look 4 cards deep instead. So that's actually good for us for tempo. In terms of other upgrades here, we'll upgrade, of course, from one of our counter spells to Archmage's Charm. So this is actually great for us. Draw 2 cards for counter a spell, or gain control of a non-land permanent with a mana value of 1 or less. We'll throw in here also Argerouge Charm for a much more stronger ramp package, because again, we can dig out any land, or put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control and then do some damage, or we can use this to exile an artifact or enchantment, so it gives us a little bit more power there. Nothing else changes in the 4-drop slot. 5-drop slot here will give us a little bit more power here. We're going to throw in a copy of Kestrel, the Wind Crescent here, a bird scout here. Anytime we'll deal combat damage with 1 or more birds, we could put a bird from our hand onto the battlefield. We can also put +1/+1 counters on every bird we control, or simply just draw cards. This is actually great for us for extra support. We'll throw in Undo Inversion here if we just need a way to blow up non-land permanents. I'm thinking instead maybe we could throw in Farewell. Maybe Farewell might actually be the better option for us, just to kind of exile everything. I don't know. Do we do that? Maybe we should actually instead. And I think we might want to... Yeah, I think we might want to try to do that instead. I know. Some people are like, Farewell? Well, it's not something I ideally like to have in there. It's kind of like my... As it goes, but... Wait, hold on. Can't spell Farewell, by the way. There we go. Okay. So Farewell instead. I think we'll cut the Undo Inversion then. So we'll just cut that, and then we'll just keep in Farewell. I know. It's a better panic option for us if anything just goes completely wrong with the deck, by the way. So that's what we're going to try to do. As far as the other major upgrades, we get an entirely massive overhaul to the actual land base. So this is, again, where all of it's going to be invested into, by the way. So if we want to actually play Chocobos and you want to go super crazy with it, definitely do a much more stronger mana base. So we're going to trim down our plains, islands, and swamps to the bare minimum. We'll now throw in a Ganjo, Otawara, and Boseiju, so all the Kamigawa rare lands, so those are really solid for us. And we'll throw in, of course, the best dual lands we can for the deck. Things that are fetchable, by the way. So you want in Hollow Fountain, and you want in the Surveil land. So Hollow Fountain, Meticulous Archive, Lush Portico, Temple Garden, Breeding Pool, and Hedge Maze. All of them are fetchable with the lands we're about to talk about. Spar's Headquarters, because this is perfect fixing for our deck. Arid Archway still, because we sometimes want to just get new stuff to do their thing. Cavern of Souls, as Sneaky Toilet mentioned earlier, is now perfect for the deck because we can make all of our stuff uncounterable. Command Tower is still going to be here, of course, with Demolition Field. We now are going to throw in, of course, the real fetch lands. So Flooded Strand here, Misty Rainforest, and Windswept Heath are now added in. We're going to throw in a little bit of Graveyard Hate with Scavenger Grounds because, again, I love this as kind of like your best option for any deck that just needs Graveyard Hate. Prismatic Vista is also going to be another better option for us for a fetch land. And we'll throw in a single copy of Fountain Port because we do make some tokens here and there, so this can help us, again, utilize them to our advantage. But otherwise, that is the upgraded version of the deck. Can this version be better than the original? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's go ahead, let's bird up with our bird upgrades. So here we go. I'm feeling much better about this one. This should be a lot more stronger for us overall now that we have a much better mana base. Some random skeleton over on YouTube joining the chat today. Thanks again for joining us, my fire friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. I've been building Sin Commander. They seem pretty cool. Oh, okay. How's that going for you? Are you just trying to make it as strong as possible? Is there a certain strategy what you like with it? Are you trying to make it more like my style where I'd like to do budget decks? Let me know. And then again, we appreciate you being here today. I haven't had a chance to look at that myself, so I might try to see how that looks in the future. Man, there's so many cards we need to build around with Final Fantasy. Like, it's probably one of the few sets I will say there's no way, and I do mean no way, we can ever run out of decks with the Final Fantasy set. Man, there's just so many legendaries to play with here. Okay, any case, while we're trying to mull over what to build after that, let's keep this hand here. It's a little slow, but again, we can still ramp to what we need with Sylvan Scrying, the Lush Portico, and the Fountain Port, so that's nice. Opponent is playing Ureni. Oh, we did play Ureni a while ago. It's actually a really good card. It's a lot of fun when it goes off. But let's see if we can get around it. The Juggernaut of Spades, also on YouTube there. Thanks again for joining us, my friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Does it run any digital-only cards? Absolutely not. I'm actually glad you asked that. So for those that don't know, I do not like alchemy cards at all. And I will definitely say right now, myself, I mean, if anybody out there likes playing alchemy cards, I mean, hey, that's your call. I'm not going to lie. I have used alchemy cards in the past, but they're not for me. So I try to keep these decks that I put together in Arena completely one for one as best as I can for paper. So if you do like the deck, you can actually just build it yourself without having to worry about kind of awkwardly porting over digital or non-digital cards. So good question on that one, though. Sylvan Scrying. Let's go ahead. Let's get out Cavern of Souls. So for sure, now we can make stuff uncounterable in case if our opponent is playing anything with their blue. Yeah, I don't like those cards either. So yeah, I try to keep my decks as, I would say, as accessible as possible. Whether I'm playing budget, non-budget, any format on Arena, I will do what I can to avoid alchemy cards because I hate them with a passion. And I'm sure for those of you that are my regulars here, you know how many times I've ranted on stream about alchemy in general. So I'll try not to do that again. But I do need to, of course, put together another YouTube video about, again, why alchemy just... It really doesn't work for the game. I know some people love alchemy, but I just don't like it. And it really does feel like it's kind of... And I'm just going to say it. My hot take, it's anti-Magic. It really does feel like it's not what Magic intended. Yes, Magic does have a lot of cards that you can use to kind of create tokens or get you some really gnarly card draw. But the way alchemy does it, it feels so disingenuous. I mean, I'm sure those of you who've seen previous videos and a lot of my live streams have seen that quite a bit, where we end up losing because a lot of those decks end up getting, like, wrecking us. All right, but until then, let's go ahead. Let's continue on with the game because our opponent is somewhere out there, hopefully. Empyrean Eagle. Caw, caw, caw. Atraxian Sappy1 also joining us on YouTube there. Thanks again for joining us, my favorite friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Stopping by to say hi. Have a good game in the rest of the stream. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Even if you're just stopping by for a hot minute here, I still appreciate that. Dense Minute, I also agree. Yes, we all agree. Yes, we're definitely a community of anti-alchemy cards. But again, if you like alchemy out there, I ain't going to tell you can't play alchemy cards against me. Just know that it's just not my jam. But hey, your mileage varies on however you want to play Magic. Play it however you like, whatever makes you happy. Juggernaut Spades. Oh, we have another subscriber also on YouTube there. Matthew S. Peterson. Thanks again for joining us, my fire friend. Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Okay, so opponent is just getting the ramp going. So let's see if we can try to find a way around that. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Well, Abzan Falconer. And we'll play Flooded Strand. Swing here. Down to 23. So I think what we can do is, as soon as our opponent is done with their turn, we'll then sack the Flooded Strand, get out maybe, I think our Tri-Land, and we should be good from there. Gilded Load. Okay. Opponent is definitely getting the ramp going. Arcane... Oh, into Arcane Signet. Okay. Ugh. What are we expecting? That Ureni is going to be coming down fast, but we need to find a way around it ASAP. We can't slow them down, though. We do have a requisition rate, so that's actually solid, too. Let's see. On the chat there, Juggernaut Spades. I respect Mill. I understand Poison. I will fight till 10, but those digital cards, oh, yeah. I 100% agree with you. I can deal with any of the stuff that I absolutely hate day in, day out. I would rather deal with that than alchemy cards. Like, I don't like dealing with decks that steal stuff. I'm sure one of our residents here can agree to that. I don't like it, but I would rather get my cards stolen every day against a bunch of decks that I hate versus dealing with alchemy cards. Getting rid of it would be a breath of fresh air. Honestly, there are two, like, if they can do that for Historic, I would love to play Historic a lot more. I mean, if they got rid of the alchemy cards in Historic, then I think that we would have like a nice little stronger format between Timeless and Pioneer that would have a lot more fun to play with. Or at the very minimum, just get rid of them out of Timeless. If you got rid of alchemy cards out of Timeless, you basically kind of have a modern / legacy version of the format in Arena, which actually would be a lot of fun. But that's how I see it. Okay, retreat to Konzu. Isle. Alright, we will start putting counters on stuff. Now we have flyers. Down to 17. There we go. All right, opponents. You have time to ramp now, because I kind of gave you a bit of a free roll there, but let's see if they can take advantage of that. Adding 3 mana from a Guild Lotus is a little much, but we'll try. Sneaky Toilet saying, Fork Alchemy. Oh, yeah. I will definitely say that. No to Alchemy. Opponents. All right. Well, they're definitely going to try to get their ramp going here, so let's see if we can get around stuff here. Let's see. How do we do this, though? Oh, actually, Saz. All right. We will dig out... Let's see. Maybe we should just get a land for now, because we do need to get that requisition rate going. All right. Put a counter. There we go. Honorary bird. So we actually have quite a few flyers now, which is actually kind of nice. Let's see. We will destroy an artifact. Get rid of their Gilded Lotus, so it slows me down a little bit. Can't swing just yet. And also they have protection from white and black, so it's a little awkward for our deck, because now we kind of have... We don't have a way of blocking certain cards they have. But we can still do stuff with Saz. If we can get +1/+1 counters going, I think we can get around this. All right. Opponent is really all in on the dragons, though. I will say, though, those dragon lands, I mean, not my jam, but they do look kind of cool. I probably wouldn't collect them myself, but they do look kind of cool. If I get them for free, I wouldn't complain. Okay, Dragon Lord of Tarka. Doing its thing. Ugh, they are definitely going to go in on strong dragons here. Densman, honestly, we should group up and make a petition to get rid of Alchemy from Historic, Timeless, and Brawl. You know what? I would love to do that, but let's be real. Wizards is not going to do it. We have seen so much data that shows that Alchemy is not as big as they think it is, and they're going to just keep pushing those cards out there. A lot of them are just not balanced for anything. So it's just so annoying. All right. Well, let's see. Well, we're not going to block there. Down to 17. All right, so side quest here, raise a Chocobo, and we also have Choco itself. And then we will do it this way, Ambrosia Wildheart, so we can bounce back one of our lands, make it do its thing again, put a +1/+1 counter on Choco. So now it's a flying Chocobo. Let's see. Is there a way out of this, or are we dead? I mean, we can block, but man, that Terror of the Peaks alone is just going to blow up our whole board. We don't have a way of stopping it. Dang. That's kind of a shame. That's kind of awkward, by the way. Juggernaut of Spades also asking, how do you think about an Urza liquid metal coating training grounds? That sounds absolutely dirty, by the way, but I wouldn't be afraid to try it myself. Oh, our opponent. Speaking of trying stuff here, Helm of the Host? Okay. Yeah, now for sure we are dead. Because now they're going to start making a ton of extra ready copies and just blowing up our whole board. Well, this stinks. They could actually go to our face and they could just win right now. Yep. All right. Okay, well, while our opponent going off here, I'll continue with the chat. I have nothing against that. It definitely feels absolutely dirty, by the way, if you actually want to do that, Juggernaut of Spades. But hey, I'm not going to lie. I do like artifact decks, so that sounds actually pretty gnarly, but a lot of fun. Then spend honest. Let's see. Oh, and that Power Stone Shard that taps for X. Oh, that's actually just overkill at that point, but it does work. Some random skeleton also saying, I'm kind of neutral on alchemy. Some gimmicks have potential, but others are just kind of broken. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I've had 1 or 2 instances where I've thought about it, and I have played a couple of alchemy cards, mostly for the burn deck, but they're so slow and so kind of gimped that they don't really do much to help out. It's, oh geez, our opponent here. All right, beyond overkill at this point. I mean, you've already won, opponent. You don't need to do all that. Ugh. Okay. All right. We'll take the L. Toots. All right, it is what it is, everybody. But that's okay. We still have time here. We're still going to try to keep playing and trying to see how much more we can do here. Okay. Shaking it off. Not a big deal. We'll just jump back into it, and we'll play again with our burbs. Okay. And then... yeah, I mean, there are some... I mean, if alchemy cards weren't so broken, I probably wouldn't hate them that much, but there's a lot of them that, especially because they're not tested across all formats. I mean, you throw them into Alchemy, some of them do absolutely disgusting stuff in Brawl, and they just don't feel fair. So that's kind of like more of the reason why it just feels like it's so anti-magic, at least how it currently is. Juggernaut space. Bro, I was hoping that. Dirty? Take 37 dampening spears. 37 dampening spears? How does that even happen? 37? At that point, I'm just like, nah, I wouldn't want to deal with that. I'm just like dead at that point. Like, I wouldn't even be able to play at that point. 37? How does that even get copied that many times? I have to kind of comprehend that for a second here. I'm trying to do the math in my head, even though I can't do math. Random Skeleton, do you play against viewers ever? I do, actually. Usually the way, I mean, if I've seen now that we're getting enough demand and we're getting enough viewers that we actually could do a lot more of the viewer streams in the future. Like, we actually did one, like, the last one we did was actually a couple weeks ago, just before Final Fantasy dropped. We kind of wanted to do maybe a fun little farewell before the game changes forever, now that we have Universes Beyond completely all in for the game. I'm not trying to say that to sound super dramatic, but that's kind of how we kind of did the send-off there. As far as in the future, I'm planning one possibly for maybe just after Edge of Eternities. By that point, and I'll say this right now, this little fireball, my birthday is at the end of August. So that's probably the next time we're going to try to plan for another viewer stream. Unless if demand is high enough, where I might actually throw one in maybe before Edge of Eternities, maybe in the next couple weeks or so or the month, but I'll put out a poll on that one. I want to make sure we get enough demand from viewers to see if it's worth it. I'm pretty sure it is, but I actually just want to see like how many people really want to see it happen. Feast. Oh, playing Soren here. Okay. Well, opponent is playing Soren, so let's play Birds of Paradise. Slow in our ramp, but we're going to try. So our opponent here, they're either going to be, let's see, are they going to be a vampire deck? Are they a life gain and drain deck? Are they a sacrifice deck? We'll see. But yeah, sorry, that's the long-winded version of saying, yes, I do, at certain points throughout the year. Mind Spike. Juggernaut Spades again. The Training Grounds and the Power Stone Shards. 5 artifacts making 25 mana. 9 makes 81. That is absolutely crazy, by the way. Wow. I kind of wish I could see that, though. I would actually like to see that in person. Professor Volk, hello. Welcome, my fire friend. Thanks again for joining in the chat. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. So, right now, as you can see, we're trying to get birds to go off. Opponent's a little slow, though. Okay. That's okay. So our Battle Screech is in the yard, but that's okay. We can still get that back at some point, so that's not a horrible thing for us. Let's see here. Do we want Choco to come in, or do we anticipate they're going to have some kind of removal? Let us Empyrean Eagle. If we can get some more birds, we can get Battle Screech to go off. Opponents? What you got, opponent? Reprieve. Opponents. Okay, they're playing tempo stuff. That's kind of annoying. No attacks yet. Wow, I'm surprised they have the reprieve. Maybe we should have put that into our deck, too. It's actually a pretty solid tempo play. But anyway, how are you doing today, Professor Volk? What brought you in today? Are you a fan of the Final Fantasy stuff? Brawl / Commander / EDH? Or you just want to hang out? Either way, still appreciate you. So this does lead me to a question I was going to ask everybody. I know I've asked it on the previous streams, but now that we have a lot more time that we've been deeper into Final Fantasy, how many out there are actually enjoying it? Do you feel like it really kind of warped things for the game? Do you not like it? Is this something that you've been enjoying? Are you a fan of Universes Beyond? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you guys about that one. Okay, so our opponent here, 25. They're going to probably swing again. Yep. Down to 21. Misty Rainforest. Okay, well, that's kind of good for us. Okay, crack it now. We want to start getting stuff done here, so we need to start really ramping here and doing our thing. So we'll get Forest. We will, let's see, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's see. Empyrean Eagle. Choco Mog. Stampede. And then from there, we should be able to get Battle Screech to go off and then get some untapped birds. And we can have Choco finally do its thing. Oh, Necropotence. That's not good. Opponent's going to try to start sculpting their hand to get what they want. Professor Volk, it's the birds that brought you in. I was going to make a commander deck with Chocobo, but I decided on Massacre Girl, Known Killer, and I'm doing today, friend. How are you? I'm doing great, by the way. Thanks again for asking. Honestly, testing this back and forth, I mean, the deck kind of is doing things. It hasn't been doing as well as I thought it was going to do on stream, but it's still a fun deck. I would definitely say, though, it does get wins, sort of. We're seeing if we can try to go off here now with our burbs. Hopefully we can get some value here on the next turn. This should be a good turn for us. Okay, Restoration, actually, that's good. We actually now have protection for our Choco, so that's actually solid. Choco, coming down. Because we came here for one reason. We are here for burbs, everybody. So with that, let's go ahead and start swinging finally. Opponents? All right, here we go. Can we finally rally back? Okay, so we will put into our hand... What do we want? We'll get the ossification for sure. And then, kind of sputtered there, but that's okay. At least we have now Restoration Magic to protect Choco from anything, in case they have anything to blow us up. Opponent will block the Choco Mog. Alright. Down to 17. They gain some life. That's okay. At least now we have a way of getting around things here. Juggernaut of Spades. Did I mention Guardians of Kolos, bounce a historic to hand? Did I mention MR Ceaseless Hunger and the One Ring are historic? Yes, that's all in there. And that is also absolutely crazy that you managed to have that all go off. Oh, opponents. Alright, so it looks like they have another way of getting around us. So let's see here. We'll try. We will try. So let's see. How do we do this here? I think the Restoration Magic is something we might still want to keep. So they will extort us. So we have to sacrifice a creature, unfortunately. Let's see. What do we get rid of, though? Dang. I don't want to lose any of our pump, but... This is Empyrean Eagle. And we lose the other thing there. Dang. Okay. Well, that's 2 down. Battle Screech kind of can possibly get us back. Never... Oh, let's see. They have Vexing Ball, by the way. Okay. Does that hurt us here? If no mana was spent to cast it. Okay. Well, that actually doesn't hurt us, realistically, because we don't have anything that is caster free. Okay, they pay life. So they're going to start sculpting their hand again. But hopefully, if our opponent gets too greedy, that does mean we might have an edge here. Maybe. Some random skeletons. Some of the cards are a little strong, but so far, they're all been fun. I mean, again... I ain't going to hate on you if you do want to play with alchemy cards. Again, I just have a hatred for them because usually I end up getting destroyed because some of them play it to their biggest advantage. I mean, again, you're trying to play to win. If that's what you want to do to have fun. But it's just, I don't know, they still rub me the wrong way. But it is what it is. They're in the game, and I'm just going to try to find a way to get around them as much as possible. Let's see, Professor Volk, I like and hate the Final Fantasy releases. I've never played the games, but some of the cards are busted. But hey, there are plenty of good mono black cards they added overall, so I'm happy. Have you played with Sephiroth, then? Because I will say right now, Sephiroth is insanely powerful, and I can understand why it's such a powerful card for its cost. Okay, let's see here. How do we do this here? Ossification, I think, is probably going to be the best option here. So, we will do this to then get rid of Sorin. Opponent can't do anything about it, so that's good for us. Bye-bye, Sorin. Okay. The meantime, we have 4 mana open. So Salvation Swan, doing its thing. Submit nothing, because we do want Choco to do its thing still. We attack. Get a card. Roiling Regrowth. Not ideal, but it's something. Down to 11 opponents. Okay, bouncing anything back? Nothing yet. Okay, so we are shields down now for a turn. So, hopefully our opponent does kind of... Oh, okay. Angel of Ruins for 7 mana. When this creature attacks, exile up to 1 target enchantment or egg... Okay. So in that case, then... They're going to try to then slow us down here a lot. Annoying, but that's fine. It's okay. We have ways of still dealing with Sorin anyway, so it's not like it's the worst.
They know how to fix everything.
Juggernaut of Spades, the deck is called cheating. That doesn't surprise me you call it cheating, by the way. But that does sound really gnarly, though. Powerful deck it does sound like, but it does sound pretty gnarly. Okay, Ambrosia Wildheart. Okay, so,
Okay. I think Bart's and Boko coming in. Okay. Opponents. Answer. Maybe. So this does trigger off things here. So we can, let's see, how do we here? I guess Soren goes bye-bye. And then, this is the fun part, by the way. We blink that away. Ping away one of their creatures. We can't swing for a moment here, but that's okay because here's how we do this here. Let's see. Roiling Regrowth. Sacrifice a forest. We'll get a forest and a plains. There we go. Get the pump going. It's tempting to swing, but we're still not strong enough just yet, so we're going to wait for a moment here. And this is how we do it. And with that, with a flying counter on it, Angel of Ruin can finally do its thing here. And, oh, there we go. Aw, opponent. I was about to go off there. All right, nice. A little bit tricky on there, but as you can see, this is why Salvation Swan is so good here. Linking back and forth, Bart's and Boko means that you just kind of use that as a spot removal the whole time, and it's just hilarious if it goes off. So yay, got that victory there, everybody. Feeling good about that. Nice. I honestly thought our opponent there was going to get a little ahead of ourselves, but we managed to pull through. All right, we got our win there. Let's get the good times rolling. Okay, catching up on the chat here. I do like some of the Universes cards, and I don't like others. I think WotC should make more of their own IP and not keep making Universes Beyond sets. Honestly, I have talked about this in previous YouTube videos. I will say right now, I'm kind of neutral on Universes Beyond. Originally, I wasn't a fan of them. I like some of them, but I realistically think... I know some people probably don't want to hear this, but the Final Fantasy set should have been Commander only. I think that probably would have at least fixed some of the issues, because throwing in Final Fantasy... I know a lot of people love seeing it now in Standard, but it's now going to cause a giant can of worms to go off. And you've already kind of are going to start seeing the ramifications of that as time goes on. Don't get me wrong. I do like Avatar, The Last Airbender. I do like that series. I'm still kind of on it as cards. I'm probably going to collect the cards, but I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to turn out at least decent. And then speaking of other stuff, I'm not a fan of, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Spider-Man. I do like Marvel, but it just doesn't feel like it fits Magic at all. I get that they're trying to also, by adding in Final Fantasy, they added now in more hero creature types. I don't know. That set feels very out of place. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. But unfortunately, it's going to get worse. Because even that, we're not even getting the actual cards on Arena due to licensing reasons. So we're not even getting Spider-Man on Arena. We're going to get Human Spider or Arachnid Person, and it just sounds like a hot mess. If you can't do Spider-Man, like if you can't do the actual IP on Arena and you have to do a generic version, then what's the point? What is the point of it all? Like, there's no reason then to do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all. But okay. I mean, Wizards is going to be Wizards. That's just how I see it. Let's see, and then, okay, we'll go forth here. Let's go ahead, let's dig out a forest. But again, that's just my rant about all this stuff. It's going to be a very interesting several months. And again, I really hope that things turn out well, but I'm very scared to see that if these sets keep selling out like they did with Final Fantasy, I worry that Magic is definitely not going to be what it once was, what brought you into the game. Don't get me wrong. I love the characters. I love the settings. I love the planes. I just don't want that to get shoved away for Spider-Man and more video game stuff. Even if I do like certain things about them, it's just something that I want Magic to be focused on the Magic stories we've come all to know and love. At least that's how I see it. Random Skeleton. I was talking about Final Fantasy cards, Lowell, when I said a little strong. Oh, okay. My mistake there. I apologize on that. Juggernaut of Spades. I just missed the old 3-block system in the story that made sense. And oh yeah, the dragon in the room. Nigo Bolas. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, I come from an older era. I'm actually a pretty old little fireball, by the way. But I've been around since like 7th edition. So that shows how old I am, by the way. But seriously, I did like the old system. I really did. But the issue, of course, is just, yeah, I don't know what made them want to change. I mean, I haven't had... there was a time where I didn't play Magic for about 15 years, and I jumped back in 2017, thanks to friends at work that got me back into the game. But since then, when I came back during, what, first Ixalan, I mean, it still felt like classic Magic to a degree, and then things started kind of spiraling out of control little by little, I've noticed. Doom to center, okay. You know what? I'm going to counterspell that. We need to slow down Sephiroth as much as possible. As much as we can. So this is what we're going to have to do here. No blocks. Okay, so Invasion of Gobakon. That's actually pretty good for us. Let us get a peeky peek at what our opponent's trying to do. Okay, unearth. Okay, so we'll... what do we want to not them deal with here? Get rid of the Pitiless Plunder. That's going to be more powerful of something to not to deal with here. Abzan Falconeer. We hit our own invasion. Down to 2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, perfect world. This is the way I would like it to do. We need a faster standard rotation, not a slower one. 3 years is a little long, and you've seen that there are a lot of cards in standard that feel very much they should have rotated out. The other thing I want to do personally is I would love us to go back to the 3-block system because we go through so many planes so quickly. Honestly, I don't think people would have hated Thunder Junction as an example or Ether Drift if we only managed to take the time to build up those sets with a full fair 3-block. Like Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I don't know, Vigilantes of Thunder Junction. Just something like that. To give us a little bit more of a spread out of the flavor, the planes, so that way everything doesn't feel so rushed. At least that's how I feel. It should have been. Otherwise, let's see. Okay, so Case of the Gateway Express. We need to get rid of their Sephiroth ASAP. Right, Sephiroth down. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Okay, Professor Volk also saying, I'm playing MTG EDH tournament at my local game store, and I got annihilated by Jumbo Cactar in turn 2. I was so sad. Oh, man, you got Jumbo Cactard? I mean, that's cute and funny that it actually does work in EDH, but yeah, sorry to hear that. Trust me, I've been on the receiving end now of several people that have found ways to even get out that giant cactus with different kinds of ways of winning. We're talking about, like, reanimating it, making it menace, or giving it lifelink. If you give that cactus lifelink, you're done. There's no way you're going to be able to then chip down 10,000 life against an opponent there. At least that's how it feels. All right, let's swing here. Does our opponent block? Opponent? Okay. Nice. We managed to flip Invasion of Gobakon. So that's cool. All right. This does mean, though, they will get back their rats. So they will steal those rats back from us, but that's not a big deal. We wanted to flip the invasion so that way we have at least some option to protect ourselves. Case of the Gateway Express thankfully also has been solved, so that way we also have a little extra pump. We just need a counter on Choco here, and we can start flying over their shenanigans. Professor Rolk, I think it's a win in my opinion. New players is a great thing, and the more money WotC is making, the better. It leads to more releases, better releases, and a good vibe in the community. So, I mean, and this is kind of like why I'm neutral on Universes Beyond. There are certain sets that I don't think should be in the game. Like, again, I don't think Spider-Man should be in the game. And also because it's kind of awkward with Marvel Snap. But stuff, at least, if it makes sense in the world of Magic, it's fine. Like, people liked Lord of the Rings. I was fine with Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings feels like Magic because, you know, the fantasy element and everything. So I was fine with that one. Honestly, even though I have not played any of the main game Final Fantasy cards, the set is beloved from what I see. And I'm okay with the cards, even if I don't get all the references. It's still fun. I am enjoying this set. I hope that also with the settings that we have from Avatar, Avatar also kind of gives off a pseudo-Tarkir vibe anyway, so I think that set should be fine for Magic. But again, I don't think it works for Spider-Man. At least there's no build-up for us to kind of have us with that. We don't have like Magic doesn't have a hero set, if you will, in the game. I know they're trying, but I don't know. I'm just still not feeling Spider-Man. Maybe it might change once we get to Spider-Man in September, but we'll see. Or what is it? October, I think it's when it's coming out. I don't know. Let's see. Otherwise, what else would I think? I am looking forward to Edge of Eternities, though. Our first sci-fi set. I think that'll be exciting. I'm hoping that's actually going to be good, though. I really do hope it's going to be good. All right, and then we will swing here. We only get one hit, though, but... Ooh, okay. That's not bad. Let's see. Opponents. Do you block? I mean, now they would lose their creatures if they do, so we should be able to get a free hit here. Opponents. Juggernaut of Spades. I don't like the fact Party only goes for 4 and WotC made D&D and have so many classes and make like 6 out of the 13. Yeah, I think, I mean, don't get me wrong. That was another set that I think also technically was great for the game. D&D works perfectly for Magic. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I just wish, though, they kind of gave that a full, proper set. We only got, again, 1 set and 1 commander set off of that, and there is so much you can do with D&D. And I feel like they're missing a lot of what D&D is. So that was kind of a miss. Maybe in the future, maybe we'll get another D&D set. I'm feeling that they have to do another D&D at some point. They have to. It has a big enough fan base now where you can definitely do it. Okay, opponent here. We definitely need a lot more creatures. Okay. Opponent can't swing here, but we definitely need more creatures quick. Okay. Alright. They sacrifice to get some value. Alright, opponents. Ugh. Okay. We'll take the hit here. We go down to 5. Oh boy. I don't know if we'll survive. We'll try. But Juggernaut, that's what I'm saying. It sort of feels so rushed now. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. It feels so tiring because, trust me, I do agree 100%. Like, people also did not care for Karlov Manor. I didn't care for Karlov Manor because it just felt like, okay, here's a Ravnica set with no setup, 1 set, and it's completely forgotten. The only thing people liked from that set was what? The Surveil lands? Great lands, by the way, just from a set that's mostly forgettable. I actually did like Thunder Junction, but I know a lot of people did not like it. I didn't mind the puns and everything, but again, it probably would have been much better received if we only had a proper setup for it, and we just didn't get that. So all everybody saw was just bad puns. Okay, so we're trying here to rally. Rally of Wings, by the way. But let's see. Put that down. Name Bird. I don't think we're going to win this one, but I'm just trying to see what we can do to get out of this mess. Okay, so we'll take the ossification. I mean, I can pump it up still here, but it's just not enough. All right, we came close. I mean, that was a big swing down to 9, but there's, like, with the value they have, there's no way we can get out of this. Okay, from there, I mean, I can still exile Sephiroth, but that's still not going to do it. Echo of Death's Wail. That goes bye-bye. Okay. We can still block what? Can we even survive here? No, we can't. All right, that's fine. We'll just concede now. We'll just jump on to the next one. All right, let's see if we can try to get one more win. I would like us to get one more win before the stream is over. I did forget to mention, everybody, as much as I enjoy streaming and as much as I've been having fun with all of you chatting, it's unfortunate that also this little fireball also has, and I'm just going to be full disclaimer, I can't stream as long as some other people out there. I do have also a grown-up doctor's appointment I have to take care of, so I will take care of that after the stream. But that means, again, we'll be streaming for only a little bit longer, probably about maybe 20-25 minutes tops. I realize I also have to clean myself up to get ready for that. But don't worry, we'll be doing, again, another stream. I'm planning for Saturday for our next stream and our next deck. So I am looking forward to that, and hopefully all of you are doing so too. At some point, though, I do mention, I know I keep saying this every stream, so I'm sorry about this. But if you do want to, we will try to start building up towards members-only kind of unique streams. But these will be streams for other video games. So we can mostly those will be chill chat ones. I also kind of take my brain off of Magic for just a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I love the game, but there are some moments where I feel like I need to take a small break just to avoid blowing my head up from all the decks I've been trying to do. In the meantime, until then, let's make a Chocobo, make a bird. Caca! Or wait, what do they go? They go work? Is that how they do it? I think that's how they do it. Dance Planet. Okay, I added two creature lands from D&D. Those creature lands from D&D are really good, though. I do like them, by the way. So that should help you out quite a bit there with Dense Planet. Sylvan Scrying. Okay, so we need to dig out a... Let's see. We'll dig out a Shockland. Pay the 2. Pump up our bird. Put down Healer's Hawk. Down to 21. Okay, opponents. You are playing Kefka, and don't worry. We will be doing a Kefka deck at some point soon. It is coming. I just need time to build it, though. It is coming, though, because this card is absolutely bananas. Oh, opponent. Blow up our bird there. All right, that's fine. Okay, we will play Breeding Pool. Shock ourselves for a moment there. Get a little pump. Roiling Regrowth. Sacrifice another land, but that's fine. Wait, opponents? Oh. Okay. Well. Wow, they actually countered that, but they gave us some extra ramp, so I'll take it while we can. Juggernaut Space. You haven't seen it yet. It has to do with when a creature ETB is under your control, gain HP equal to its toughness, and doppelgang for yes. Oh, that sounds so fun. That sounds actually really powerful, by the way. Maybe I could see it in the future someday. Professor Volk, I agree with that. Fantasy is what WotC should stick to, especially dark fantasy, man. I love the old dark fantasy cards, arts, Spider-Man and Captain America. They don't really belong in Magic. I will definitely say, if they were only Commander only, I probably wouldn't care too much. But because they're coming to Standard, which means they'll be legal against every set forever, that's just where I kind of draw the line. I don't know. I wanted to get the Captain America cards just again for collection purposes because I think they're fun. But again, it's just not in Standard. And yes, I will say, the fantasy elements of Magic are what appeal to me. The high fantasy, dark fantasy. And I know that, you know, we're now going to do a sci-fi set, but they did mention the set is mostly going to be mostly like space opera. So think more like Star Wars, where it's going to be more fantasy elements with the space elements. So that sounds fun. I do think that that's going to be good. But until then, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Okay, so we're going to start pumping up our birds here. Swing with 2. This is a little risky, but I think this should be good. Okay, we did get a land onto the field, so there we go. Nice. Pumping up all of our Chocobos. There we go. That's what you want to do with the deck. We will lose, unfortunately, our cute little one here, but he managed to get rid of the Unstoppable Slasher for a turn, so buys us time, if nothing else. Some random skeleton. As an avid dungeon master, a third D&D set would be sick. I actually agree. I don't play D&D myself, but there's so much you can do with D&D in Magic, so I really hope we come back to D&D. I feel like the Baldur's Gate set was fun, but they really should have done that more properly. But hopefully, we will get to a point where that'll be something in the future. I feel like they have to do another D&D set. How could they not, by the way? All right, Plains. Okay. Slowly going off here. Bridge work battles. All right, we're going to fight Kefka here. Taken out by a Chocobo. All right. It's working. It's working. All right, puts it back into their command zone. All right, opponents. We should be able to get a solid swing here. Professor Rock, yeah, I love the DNC sets. The party system was actually new and cool strategy. By the way, this was my first deck ever in Magic, and I loved it. Well, that's good. I also wanted... We never got to actually make a party deck, only just because... It felt like it was a little clunky. I loved, however, the dungeon deck. That was actually my jam. The dungeon deck was definitely the deck that I still have actually... I'll even show you guys, because I do want to build one for, like, casual play. Like, if I ever play with friends again, I do want to do that. Ooh, down to 2. Oh, man, we're so close here to going off. Case the Gateway Express. And say goodbye to Unstoppable Slasher for the rest of the game. All right. Nice. We're there. We've almost got them. Opponent, you have one turn to turn this around. And they don't. Victory goes to us. Yeah. All right. Nice. Chocobos getting it done. Bird up, everybody. Bird up. Caca! Work! I need that Aragondre clip, though. I definitely need to do that for the highlight for this one at some point. If y'all know, look up Aragondre, bird up. That's kind of where the deck idea came from. Okay. Feeling good there. Okay. Kuja is one of my current favorite commanders. Nice. I haven't seen a Kuja deck yet, so that actually sounds kind of fun, too. There's so much we need to build. I feel like I just don't have all the time in the world. I mean, if I was full-time doing content, I would love to do it. But unfortunately for now, this little fireball still needs more time and support before maybe he can do like more content for full time. But if y'all want to help me with that, and I know here comes the shilling moment. But again, if you are enjoying the content for anybody out there, As always, so those of you that are watching this on the replay, probably like, follow, and subscribe. You see all the links right there. I stream across all of these formats. So X, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. If you want to help me out, again, you can just join, of course, the Patreon. And even if you just want to just help me out just by watching, I still appreciate that. We do have a Discord, as you see throughout the chat. So click on the Discord if you want to join our growing group of fiery friends, because all of your support is what I really appreciate. That helps keep this channel going, and hopefully we can do more streams and more fun stuff in the future. But okay, got that out of the way, everybody. Gotta still promote myself in any way, shape, or form. Gotta do it. Okay, get the bridge works down tapped. All right, opponents, what do we got here? Jury, Master of the Review. Interesting. We do have coming up soon a sacrifice deck, which we'll talk about near the end of the stream. It is coming, so we will do that. Geshel Greens, making our bird. Juggernaut of Spades. Yes, very jank Simic deck. Very jank. I do like jank, though. I do like my jank. The secret to my Sliver deck is Starve Extinction on my Spiteful Sliver. Oh my goodness, I never actually thought about that. Oh, that is hilarious, by the way. We have to actually do a Sliver deck at some point. I realize we haven't. Maybe at some point we got to. Got to do it. All right, Prismatic Vista. And let's see. We'll swing. Opponent, do you block? Maybe? They don't. Okay. Down to 22. And we will pass here. Professor Volk, I would love a Star Wars MTG crossover. I've been waiting for one, and I want it. Star Wars is one of my favorite forms of media, easily. Even today with Disney running it through the ringer. Oh, don't even get me started with that. Honestly, I feel like that could be a whole nother rant in itself. In fact, at some point, I did almost become a Disney YouTube channel. I did kind of test it out on a previous, in a previous way, but that didn't pan out as well as I thought it was going to. All right, so with that, let's see here. Bounce back the Hollow Fountain. We block here. Okay, opponent. Probably paying out the Wild Heart. But this is now we can also do a little bit of fun. So with that, let's get out Plains. Get a little pump going. Not that we need it. Restoration Magic. Protect it. So nothing to us, which is good. Goldhound's starting to get a little stronger here, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Let's see here. Actually, I think we have a better way of doing this. Okay, we will shock ourselves. Get some pump going. Let us... Oh, come on. There we go. We will put +1/+1 counters and destroy an artifact. Actually, wait, hold on a second. I can do this even better here. There we go. Wait. That's an enchantment there. Say goodbye, opponent. Bye-bye to both. All right. Field clear. Free swing. Down at 16. But yeah, I like Star Wars still. I have actually a lot of Star Wars merchandise behind me on my shelf, which I love. But yeah, Disney's kind of made me feel very, like, meh right now to the franchise. I wonder, though, how... Because, you know, when Edge of Eternities comes out in August, you know we're going to get some Star Wars references and maybe some other sci-fi references throughout that set. You know they're going to do it. But hopefully they'll be good ones, not tasteless ones. Santa Cliff, thanks again for joining us today over on YouTube, my fire friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Have you seen the chicken dance from Arrested Development? Wow. I don't remember, actually. I completely have forgotten about that. You'd have to refresh my brain on that one. It's been a while. I don't remember Arrested Development as well as some of the other shows I used to watch way, way back in the day. Swinging with Choco here. Or it's Choco's ability. Oh, okay. So here we go. What do we want, though? Bartz and Boko would also be good spot removal, so I think we'll keep that. So Kestrel does get thrown away, but that's okay. We're close to closing this out, so hopefully we can. Professor Roll, was it really that bad bird horror movie? I don't know why, but this is reminding me of it. What, the birds? Are we talking about the birds? That's a classic movie, by the way. At some point, I do want to try to see if maybe we could do like a horror bird thing, but maybe we'll save that for October when that time comes. Even though I'm not really a fan of horror movies. Some random zone. Do you have a Discord server? Yes. It should. The link should be. The link I know has been spamming throughout the should have been spamming throughout the chat here. If not, I usually leave it also as a link in every one of my YouTube videos, and it's also on the main channel. So if you look at the main page, if you check down on the details, there is a copy of the link, so you should be able to join it from there. I literally just spam it everywhere. So that is there. So if you want to join, I do appreciate that when you can. Okay, arid archway here. So let's see. Can we do this here? How do we do this? Arid archway. We will bounce back. Let's see here. How do we do this? Bounce back the planes. Oh, maybe I should have tapped it. Oops. It's fine. Not a big deal, everybody. We will sacrifice Otalora. Let's get ourselves a green source and a blue source. Get some pump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can actually attack here. I don't think our opponent is going to try to stop us here. They can if they want to, but I don't think they will. Alright. Passed out of the way. They gained some life, but that's fine. Juggernaut of spades. Oh! What? You somehow took away my commander and don't follow it, though. Take 20 per sliver. I still own. Wow, okay. Victimize. Ooh. Wait, victimize? Okay. Interesting. That should be a card we should be playing more often. Victimize here. That's actually pretty solid. Okay, breeding pool. Okay, so we need to get rid of that Mayhem Devil before it starts doing Mayhem Devil shenanigans. So let's see. How do we do this there? We need to do 3 damage. So should be pretty easy with this deck. Shock ourselves again. That does hurt for a little bit, but that's okay. Bards and Boko coming down. Take out Mayhem Devil, because that is going to be something we definitely don't want to see. And then finally, Swiftfoot Boots makes it onto the field. Swing with our Choco. We'll get the racetrack. That's cute. Down to 10. Ooh, this is close. Definitely a close one. We want to make sure, though, Choco survives, so let's put the Swiftfoot Boots on there. I could have put it, I realize, on Bartz and Boko, but that wouldn't help us too much right now. We want to make sure we have something on the backswing. Okay, so with that... Deals damage to a power at any turn. Okay. Let's do it that way. Blade Battle Fan. Ooh. Indestructible to end a turn? Ooh. So we don't lose anything per se, but it is close still. 10 and 10. Who could win this one? Let's see. Oh, opponents. Oh, they gave up already. Okay. Yay. I'll take that win. Nice. All right. Feeling good. All right. So, okay. So I think with that one, because also I realized, oh dear, I'm actually running behind on time right now. Okay. So I know this is going to be a bit of a short stream, everybody, and I do apologize for that because I'm having a lot of fun chatting with all of you. But realistically, I have to get going soon. But before I go, I still appreciate all of you. We are going to do a quick little breakdown of the deck and to see how well it did. So overall, how do you feel overall about what we played today? We played Bird Up. Would you play Chocobos in any way, shape, or form as Bant's Bird? Do you think that Choco is our new best bird commander? I actually like the card a lot. Even on a budget, while we didn't really see it do anything super flashy, it is a fun card. I really do like the card a lot. But it still feels a little clunky when you can't get certain things to go off. You really want a board state that goes wide with a lot of birds in order to get the maximum amount of value for the card. We didn't get a chance to do that too often today. Our opponents kind of held us down, but I still like the deck for what it is. And I definitely would recommend this if you're a fan of creature decks or if you're a fan of strategies where you're just trying to go super wide with birds. It's actually a lot of fun, by the way. As far as the upgraded version, definitely if you can invest into the bird deck itself, I definitely would say do so. The extra lands will, of course, make any deck stronger, and I emphasize this all the time. When in doubt, if you're going to upgrade your deck, upgrade your mana base first. You want to make sure that you can cast everything consistently. Even if you have jank cards, if you have the best cards in the world, that won't matter if your mana base is too janky to cast any of them. So always pick first your mana base to upgrade before you start upgrading the main deck. And that goes for any deck. So with that, I actually would definitely recommend this for, again, if you're willing to upgrade, if you want to put in some extra support, definitely do so. Both links for these will be up a little bit later today once I have once I'm done with my appointment, by the way. But yeah, once I'm done with that, I'll throw in more details for the live stream, and that'll be across all of the places I'm streaming. So we'll have copies of this for Instagram, YouTube, even Kick if I can. I know I don't get too much support on Kick, but it's still there. So X, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, you all will get copies of this. So wherever you're watching from, don't worry. You can copy and paste any version of the deck that we'll have here today if you do like it. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Juggernaut of Spades, dirty deck as heck. I have mentioned the 2 Atroxa decks. I have an Atroxa deck too that I actually have been trying to build in paper, and we do have a copy of it that I'll show you guys in a little bit here. Den Splendid, I'll share my Dimir deck in the Discord, by the way. Appreciate it always, Den Splendid. And also, if joining the Discord, you can share a bunch of different decks there and talk about it with other people if you all want to play with each other. By all means, do so. There's definitely a lot of fun to go around there. Juggernaut of Spades, 1 Poison Proliferate, 2 counter-based ones. Actually, the one I have, and I'll show you right now, because now that we're kind of done with this, is I have, where is it here? Where has it my, oh yeah, so I have a Poisonous Planeswalkers one. I have played this on stream a couple times against players, and I have actually streamed this one a while ago. So this one is pretty much just built, again, poison with uncommon Planeswalker support. So giving your uncommon Planeswalkers extra counters is actually pretty fun if you can manage to have it go off. I might sculpt this a little bit differently when paper once we get it done, but I am looking forward to finishing this deck up in my paper collection. It's actually a lot of fun, by the way. I know a lot of people don't like Atroxa as a commander, but she is good, and even if you kind of nerf it a little bit here with uncommons, it's still pretty solid overall. Okay, so now before we're about to end the stream, everybody, as always, because you've all stuck around this far into the video, I appreciate all of you, and because you're my true fire friends for hanging in there this long, you're going to get a nice little sneak peek as to what's to come over the next couple days. So, our next stream, Ping 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 is going to be, I don't know if I want to stick to this name for the thumbnail, but I probably might change it later on. I don't want to call it like Rakdos Pingers or anything. I don't know. We'll think about a fun name for it. But most likely it is a wizard burn deck. So again, we're going to try to make as many wizard tokens as possible here. And we just want to ping our way our opponent. This will be done for standard. Don't worry. This is I try to have to do standard decks because let's be honest, there are going to be viewers out there that want standard decks. So we will do at least build 1 for this set. It's actually, this is a very fun deck. I've been having a lot of enjoyment out of it. Still need to do maybe a little bit more sculpting here and there to get it down, but it's actually very budget friendly. So definitely that's coming for us on Saturday. So that'll be our next stream coming up. So kind of give you an idea of that. The other deck that I need to finish recording and start editing quick is going to be Tifa Trample here. I know a lot of people love her, and they do love what her card does. So we're definitely going to be going all in on a super go big strategy with her. That'll be up ideally Monday morning. Most likely, however, it will probably be Tuesday morning. This deck is going to be done. We just need to finish recording it, and that'll be good to go. As far as any other decks beyond that, I literally have like a set of scrap papers on my desk right now where I'm trying to put together the remaining decks. I just need more cards, by the way. It's just such an expensive set. There's a lot of great stuff we need to build, but I need way more mythics. But I also do not want to spend actual real money as much as possible. I try to minimize it to actually put together stuff here, but I still will do it what I can. But we have a lot more decks to work with here. There's still plenty more options for us in the future. So stick around, everybody. That'll be coming up again in the next couple weeks. I will also do, most likely, just before the end of June, our prediction video for Edge of Eternities, because I realize we're going to get sneaky previews for that this weekend, so hopefully that won't spoil too much for us. But I am looking forward to what that set is. Just feels like we're always in spoiler season every other week. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for today, everybody. Before I get going, as always, I appreciate all of you that have been here for today. Sneaky Toilet, shout out to you. Shout out to Den Splendid, my VIPs that are always here for me. I appreciate all of you, and all of you that have joined us today from YouTube. We had a lot of great chatter today from all of you guys, so hopefully we'll get a chance to see y'all again very soon. So Juggernaut of Spades, shout out to you. Some Random Skeleton, Atroxa Sappy 1. We have, of course, others that have been joining us. Some Random Skeleton I mentioned. Professor Volk, thank you again for stopping by. Appreciate all of you. Sorry, I'm trying to go through the whole chat right now to make sure we have enough of you, and then start chat with everybody that has been here. Apologize if I don't see you for a second there. How is it? Wait, hold on. We did have someone that stopped by for a second. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't find your name right now on the chat. Oh, there he is. Santa Cliff, thanks again also for stopping by for a hot second there. And a couple of other of you guys, if I don't give you a shout out properly, Again, I do apologize for that. The chat just kept going today, so that is good, though. We did have a lot of chatter. I know we didn't get too much chatter from others from other locations, but still appreciate you guys. If I don't see your names from X or Instagram there, wait, actually I do see Instagrams there. So one more time, so Eric117, I know you were there still. Holly Crabstar, you were there for a little bit, so thanks again for that, everybody. But again, I will try to make sure I give everyone proper send-offs and appreciation as much as I can when I'm still here. I'll try to make sure I get everybody next time. So with that, that's pretty much it, everybody. We are going to be, of course, doing this again. We're planning for Saturday. That is our next day for stream. Hopefully nothing gets interrupted until then. But that is it for today, everybody. I'm just going to say one more time, thank you, everybody, for showing up today. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see all of you again very soon this weekend. So with that, have a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, everybody. And we'll get a chance to do this again very soon. But as always, like I like to tell every single one of you, oh, wait, hold on one second. Let me finish the chat real quick. JK, oh no, you just showed up right now. Oh, we're about to wrap it up right now. I usually want to go a little bit longer, but I have a appointment I have to get to, and I realize I haven't showered yet. I know, I'm a smelly little fireball right now. But seriously, I got to jump in the shower, and I got to get to my appointment. So with that, I will take off now, everybody. We'll see you again soon. The details, of course, of all of everything we did today, all the links and everything will be up a little bit later on. But again, thanks again for joining us, everybody, one more time today. We'll see you again very soon. But as always, just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We will see you again Saturday, everybody. Later.